It's about time you got back. You ought to know better than to keep me waiting this long by now. I was starting to get worried about you. And you tend to know that bad things happen when I worry, don't you? For instance, the last time I was worried about you, I came dangerously close to killing Reiner, because I thought for a moment that he'd been making rude comments about you, and that he might have distracted you and kept you from coming back to me. That was a close call. It's a good thing your intuition is strong. You knew what to expect. You had an explanation ready for me. And it proved to be true. So tell me, what kept my good girl away from me for so long this time? Is that so? You were talking to Ymir and Krista. About what, if you don't mind my asking? Why do I want to know? Because I'm curious, of course. Curious and interested. You and I are partners, are we not? We're in a relationship with Annie as well. Whenever she talks to her friends, I ask what they talked about. I want to show interest in what my partners are doing. I love you both very much. Your lives interest me so very much. I want to know as much about you as I can. So tell me, what were you talking about? Really? You were discussing a comment Krista made. Was it an out-of-character comment? That's very rare for her. What were you discussing that took you so long? What was it that she said? Excuse me? You're joking, right? Annie sometimes likes to joke like this to make me a bit jealous and keep things interesting. Before you came along, we were growing bored with each other. Of course, we still loved each other, just as we do now. But we live so close to each other. We perform the same tasks. There's very little to talk about. Things began to grow dull. So she would attempt to add a little spice into our romantic life by making me jealous with ridiculous jokes. Is that what you're doing? They do say great minds think alike. It wouldn't surprise me if you'd learned a few things from her. Oh. You're not joking. Krista really told you she thought you were cute. And what did Ymir say about this? I'm sure she wouldn't have been too pleased. What? She agreed. Well, I can't say I blame them. You are very cute. However, they know you're in a relationship, don't they? Why not? You're not ready to tell people? And why is that? Are you worried that they're going to judge you for liking girls? Krista and Ymir certainly wouldn't. Are you afraid they're going to judge you for having 2 partners? Are you afraid that they might somehow find it within their feeble minds to put the pieces of the puzzle together and figure out what we are? Then why hide it? Unless you don't consider this a real relationship. No? Ah, you meant, no, that's not why you're hiding it. Well, then what is it? You're embarrassed? Do we really embarrass you? Then what did you mean? If we embarrass you, perhaps you'd be better off without us. Explain yourself then. Because I don't like the idea of you being too embarrassed by our relationship to tell others about it. And I certainly don't like the idea of other girls gawking at you and calling you cute. True as it may be, it is unwelcome, especially when you're in a relationship. Ah. Affection is something you struggle with, is it? You don't know how you'd feel if people knew that you were displaying affection to others daily? Who cares? Most of them do the same. Krista and Ymir, they always talk about getting married. They're practically attached at the hip. And of course you've seen me with Aaron. We're not biologically related, but he's still my brother. And I'm willing to protect him, no matter what the cost. And of course, Reiner and Bertolt. They're never far from each other. And they're always talking to each other. Always touching each other somehow. Whether it's sitting too close together or having their hand on the other's shoulder. Everyone here displays affection in some way. So why are you so embarrassed by it? You know, waiting for you has really worked up an appetite for me. I can smell your blood. The scent is so sweet. It's intoxicating. It's very difficult to resist the urge to bite into your neck right now. And you know what? I used up all of my willpower during training today. So I think I'll give myself a break. And a reward. Hold still, darling. You know it hurts less when you hold still. And of course, I always give you a kiss if you're a good girl. But if you misbehave, well, you said that affection embarrasses you. If you don't hold still, I'll make it obvious that you, Annie, and I are together. Everyone will know. So be a good girl, why don't you? And hold still. Very good. Now, this'll only take a moment. You know the drill by now. Sweet as ever. Oh, you're shaking. My apologies. I was drinking so quickly I didn't stop to think about how much I was taking. Have a seat, why don't you? You look exhausted. Oh dear. It seems that while feeding from you so quickly, I left a noticeable mark. One that others will view as a hickey. They'll know you belong to someone. And when Annie sees you again, I have no doubt she'll leave a matching mark on the other side of your neck. Bear in mind that vampires are often possessive of their mates and their feeding sources. We are no different. So I suggest you stop acting like we're embarrassments. Or we'll show you exactly what true embarrassment is.